All right, welcome everyone. Today we're going to learn how to play Happy Birthday with a more kind of jazzy or gospel feel than the way it's traditionally played, um, specifically with a walking bass line. So in this video I'm going to go ahead and break down the parts, but before we do that I'm going to just go ahead and start with the finished product so you know what it is you're learning. Here we go. So that's kind of the goal, right? Let's learn the right hand first. It's pretty straightforward. If you don't know how to play Happy Birthday, you can look up sheet music for it. I'm going to go ahead and do it with the slightly different rhythm that I just played it with. So normally Happy Birthday's in 3. Bump a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. But we're going to do it in 4, like this. 1, 2, a 1, 2, dun, dun, dun. So that's the right hand. Not too difficult. The left hand is the challenge on this one, and then putting the two hands together. So if you've never played a walking bass line before, we're going to start by just kind of outlining the chord progression. And I don't want to get too in the weeds for what it is, but let's just see if we can memorize this. These are the notes that you're going to play on the downbeat, okay? So, actually, let me give you a little context here for the tune. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Do, do, do. Bum, bum, ba-doo, ba-dum. And so your very first step should be to memorize what I just did. Right? We're just playing on the downbeat. And then gradually we're going to kind of transform that into the full walking bass line. So once you've got that memorized, go ahead and pause the video. Take some time if you need to. We're going to add one chromatic note. So what I mean by chromatic is a note that is directly under whatever note you play on the downbeat. So in the very first two notes, right before this D, I'm going to play a C sharp. Make sense? Now you can do that above or below. See how I did it above right there? And we're going to convert the first one we did with just the downbeats. We're going to just add that chromatic note on each one. So that's like step 1, right? Or step 2, I guess. So here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Make sense? Whoa. Okay, so once you've got that down, go ahead and pause the video if you need to take a couple minutes to practice that. We're going to add 2 chromatic notes. So instead of going, now we're going to go. And notice these notes are chromatic, right? So they could be a white key or a black key. They have to be right next to each other. So let's go ahead and play the bass line with the melody doing that. So, happy birthday to you. One more time. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. sense? So the final step to actually get the full walking bass line going is you just add one more note. So you should have 3 preceding notes before each downbeat. So this has now become, sorry, like that. Let me do it a little bit slower. So this has now become, right? So it's the same thing we've been building up, but I'm adding that beat. And the same thing when I go down, right? So you can see the scaffolding, quote unquote, right, of that's all still there. We're just kind of adding those in between notes. So let's do it pretty slow, just to kind of get a feel for it. I'm going to go ahead and play the melody in the right hand now. Nice and slow. And so you've got all the information you need, right? You understand the walking bass line, you understand the melody. Now the challenge is putting the two together, right? And what I'll say about it, there's not really a lot to do except to just do it a whole bunch. But you might notice that most of the time the melody notes line up with the walking bass line. Make sure you enter with the E in the right hand and the G in the left hand together. That's where they start. So what I was trying to say is that sometimes the right hand notes, even though they're generally with the downbeat, every now and then you can kind of stick them between the bass notes. Check it out. Hear how it comes between? And there you go. Just practice that until you get the speed up, and you'll know happy birthday with a walking bass line.